Would you describe yourself as emotional? Do you feel like your mood can change instantly based off what happens in your day? Then you probably are a slave to your emotions. Being an emotional person and leading with your heart can both be great qualities. Leaning into our feelings allows us to be more self-aware and helps connect us with others. But if we allow our emotions to dictate how we live our lives, it can lead to anxiety, depression, and even have a negative impact on our personal growth and relationships. As an empathetic person who feels things deeply, I have learned this lesson the hard way. It took me years to grasp a concept that all emotions stem from thought. In other words, if you are an emotional person, chances are you are also an overthinker. Just like overthinking, you can get caught in a negative feedback loop of doubt and discouragement based on happenings in our everyday lives. But why do we choose to let this happen to us? Simply because it's easier to ruminate on a situation rather than taking action. Why get up and do something about your problems when you get a certain validation from talking about them instead? This is directly how your emotions are holding you back from success. Instead of your feelings or emotions catapulting you to success, you take on a victim mentality and ask the Almighty Lord up above, why me? Through seasons of victory and defeat, it is essential to simply do the work and stay on task according to the plan and not shift frames based on an emotional whim. Too many of us quit early because it got too hard, or we weren't getting that dopamine rush of emotions after a constant slow grind. But like any journey, when those emotions and feelings come rushing in, that's when you need to lock in the most. What's your reason? What's your purpose behind this? And keep going no matter what. The sooner that you understand success is a mental game more than anything else, the faster you will be successful. If you are constantly looking for validation through your emotions and feelings, then you will never be. It is important to understand that no emotion is good or bad, rather helpful or unhelpful based on the situation that you're dealing with. And if you really want to build and callous your mind, the most important thing you need to do is let your emotions and thoughts run through your head like a cloud in the sky, not giving it any attention, especially if it isn't serving you. It is important that you understand them, but never acknowledge them. This is simply called stoicism. If you truly want to become successful, you need to understand, why do you feel a certain type of way about certain types of things? Why are your emotions so strong that they are driving you away from your success and the goals that you want to achieve? Ask yourself that question right now. If you know you need to work out and you know you want to lose weight, why aren't you doing it? Why is laziness or the feeling that it's too hard simply driving you away from your goal and becoming the person that you really want to become? Imagine you were stranded on a beach on a deserted island. What would be your first instinct to do? For some people, simply being stranded by themselves alone would be enough for them to solidify their downfall. They would do nothing in order to fight against it. But for others, they would rise against the challenge knowing this is not where they end. For that person that's afraid of heights, they would find themselves doing crazy things like climbing a coconut tree in order to eat and drink, compared to somebody else who wouldn't dare due to fear and emotional pull. You know you have to do certain things in order to live and survive, and you know what doesn't serve you. So why are you letting the things that don't serve you hold you back? If you are unwilling to climb trees and to fish on a deserted island where you're all by yourself, vulnerable, then what are you willing to do in your life now? Too many of us in the first world have the luxury of being able to worry and doubt. For many people on this earth, if they do not take action on a daily basis, they do not get fed. It isn't a question of whether or not they are afraid of getting injured while pursuing food, because it is more important to take care and feed their village. You're worried about studying and passing a test while there's somebody down in South America hunting wild boars. If you fail that test, more than likely you're still good. Everything's gonna be all right compared to that man who has to feed a village. If he does not overcome his fear of possible injury or more, his whole family could be wiped out. The point I'm trying to get at is, more than likely, your struggle is not that bad. More often than not, it's just a mental game that you're playing with yourself based on your past experiences and things you may have heard from other people. Your struggle is not so great that you can't overcome it. If you want to become anything in life, you simply need to do the work despite the way that you feel. We're all tired. We're all stressed out. We all have problems in our lives. What makes the difference between successful people and non-successful people is putting in that work, especially when they don't feel like it. The reason you're not who you want to be is simply because you're stuck in a system. You're stuck in a phase. There's certain things about your personality that has been ingrained in you due to time and your environment. It's some of the most depressing stuff ever, but a lot of reasons we have the habits that we do is based off our parents, and for them is based off their parents as well. So don't fully blame yourself, but at least take responsibility. And the sooner you do that, the more you'll live a life that you actually want to live. To put it in perspective, just think of a person who's obese. Their parents were obese, and their grandparents grandparents are obese. More than likely, them as a child and growing up is gonna be obese. At a certain point, you have to recognize this is not the way that I want to live, and I was given this lifestyle due to my parents. They had their own traumas and experiences that made them live this lifestyle as well. But that doesn't mean that I have to be stuck living this life. And that goes for any experience that you may have, no matter how traumatic. Eventually, we all have to take responsibility for what we are in this life. When it comes to becoming more emotionally mature, the first step is simply accepting your emotions and the way that you feel about certain things, the way that you feel about yourself. Too many people don't like the way that they feel about themselves or the way that they think about themselves, so they self-sabotage, subconsciously and consciously. Instead, accept it. Know you are who you are based off the past decisions that you've made. It's okay. We all make mistakes. We all are lost. We all are in a state of mind of running on co-pilot. We need to break that mold and get out of our head and simply do. You could change your life right this second. This next second, this next minute. One decision, one mindset shift can change you forever. So instead of overthinking and being emotional about your certain situation or problems that you have, simply take action. Do what needs to be done in spite of the way that you feel. I know it's easier said than done, but at what cost? At what moment in your life are you going to finally say, I'm going to take back my life and not be afraid to do something based on the way that I feel or what other people think? You need to choose your difficulty. Either you're going to spend your whole life struggling with the fact that you can't deal with your emotions, or you're going to spend your whole life dealing with the things you have to do and the problems and stress that come from that. You choose. Something that I noticed when talking to people is if they're a very emotional person or they're an overthinker, more likely than not, they don't know who they truly are. They have an identity crisis. They don't know what their true purpose on this planet is. So they become very sensitive to anything that makes them uncomfortable. Right now, I want you to imagine, what would you do for the rest of your life if money wasn't an issue? What is the type of person you would become? Would you simply sit on your ass all day and do nothing? Eventually, that would probably get boring, right? So what would you do to stay busy? For the majority of us, it would be elective. I think if we had our whole entire life taken care of, we wouldn't do anything that we don't want to do or anything that demands highly of us. If we had $1 billion in the bank, I doubt any of us would want to become ditch diggers. Now, for some people, they might want to do that. For the majority, probably not. It would be something more in the arts or something like that. And so be it. But whatever it is that you have a passion for, that's what you need to pursue. And within that, eventually, you'll find a way to monetize it. Stop being afraid of what people are going to think of you, especially if it's something that you really want to do or something that you have a call to action for. For some people, they might want to be in the medical field. Others might want to be lawyers, doctors, anything like that. Some people would want to be musicians, actors, athletes, who knows? The point I'm trying to make here is to find your purpose, find your reason why, and within that, you will find a reason to keep going. Nothing will stop you from doing what you truly want to do, especially if you love what you do. You will learn to have a healthy balance between emotions and feelings and actually perform because this is what you really want to do. Obviously, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, even LeBron James have hard days when they play basketball, but they love playing basketball so much that all those emotions, feelings, and overthinking that they do doesn't outshine the love for the game, and they will happily press onward despite how they feel. The faster you find your reason why, the faster you find what you really want to do in this world, the easier it will become to overcome emotions, overthinking, and really caring about what other people think about you. Because no matter what, you are doing what you are set here to do by God. You're doing exactly what you want to do on this planet. In this life, if you focus on the obstacles, all you will see is the obstacles. You need to take responsibility for your emotions and the way that you think for yourself. Stop thinking and speaking in the negative. Instead, think and speak positively. Instead of telling yourself, I can't do this, start telling yourself, I can do this. Instead of thinking about the negative consequences of not doing what you're supposed to, think about the positive consequences for doing what you're supposed to. Life is about perspective and the way that you perceive things. Whether or not it's good or bad, that's up to anybody to decide. More importantly than that, you just need to do what you know you're supposed to do. Like I said before, if you know you need to pass this test, then pass this damn test. If you know you need to lose weight, then lose some damn weight. If you know you need to do anything in this life, then just do it. Don't think of not doing it or the consequences of not doing it. Think about, if I did it, how is that going to benefit my life? If I did it, who is that going to create me into becoming? Take responsibility for everything that happens in your life, from the way that you feel, think, and do things. Never target yourself. Simply understand. Understand why you did the things that you did for the times that you're in. Understand how you can get better, and everything in your life will fall together in place. Turning off your emotions will make you successful. And no, I'm not trying to sensationalize being depressed or turning off your emotions and becoming ill and dead inside. No, I simply mean become stoic. Understand them, watch them, but let them go by and continue pressing forward and doing what you know you're supposed to be doing. There's a lot of consciousness that has to go on when you're doing this. Don't just be reckless and not take care of your mental health, but simply understand why you feel the way you feel, and understand, is that aligned with the goals and visions that I have for the future? Because if not, then you shouldn't feel any certain type of way about doing what you know you're supposed to be doing. If you need help or accountability doing this, hit the first link down below in the description. You could come on a one-on-one call with me where I will personally help you build a resilient mindset. I have personally gone through this myself and taught myself how to overcome all the thoughts and feelings that I think about myself, and I know it's not easy. If you need some help, make sure you click that first link and get on a one-on-one call with me. Thanks for watching.